Hey y'all, it's Taryn. It is Sunday, September 17th. Welcome. It's been a hot minute. Um, yeah, it's been our usual kind of crazy, some unusual crazy, lots of stress. Um, but I have lots of stitching to share. And we'll get into the other stupid stuff also as we go along. I did go buy some stronger prescription readers. That's what these are. My regular glasses are progressive lenses, and my computer screen at work, well, I have two of them. My screens at work are, I don't know, about 3 inches out of being able to read them with my mid vision. There's no prescription in the mid part. So in order to be able to read things, I'm always having to look through the reader part at the bottom. And as I'm sure you've all noticed, that I have to do that when I'm doing this stuff too, so I can see what I'm showing you. And so I got these, so maybe you don't have to look up my nose while I'm trying to see from the bottom of my glasses. We'll see. It's kind of become a habit now to look out of that part of my glasses, so you may still get to do that anyway. I'm going to show you this before we get started because Addison got this for me. I have a lot of chicken stuff in my kitchen. So she bought me this little chicken light. This is the best part though. I'm going to plug it in so you can see the chicken lights. She asked me if I wanted it. She sent me a picture with the light on and was like, "Do you want this?" I said, "Who doesn't want a chicken whose butt lights up? Come on." So now this is he sits in the back of a truck that's on the counter in my kitchen. Chicken butt nightlight. Okay, we're going to move that out of the way. Because, as you all know, the more stupid something is, the more I like it. So, what else? Like I said, things have been a little bit crazy here. If they've seemed crazy in your world, I'm going to let you know why right now. It is Dax's fault completely. Dax and I are creatures of habit. He has changed his routine. He is getting up early in the morning instead of 30 minutes before we have to leave for the office. He's going to work out early in the morning instead of in the late afternoon, early evening like he usually does. And it's kind of shaken up the whole world. It's thrown things off balance. He's really made a mess of things. I'm just putting it out there. So I apologize. I apologize if things seem stupid in your world right now. But blame Dax. It is what it is. We had, this is part of the chaos that has ensued because of it. We were getting ready to leave the office the other night, and the battery was dead in the car, so we had to wait an extra couple of hours while AAA came to put a new battery in. But the other one was still under warranty, so it did not cost us anything. We had bought a 3-year battery the last time, and it hasn't been 3 years yet. The guy said it's just been the heat. The last few days, it's like been in the 90s, and we all feel like it's fall weather. It's, down to 95 or 98. But after 110, we'll take it. We'll take it. And we actually got some rain. So, and then, I don't know, a week later, if it was a whole week, some people down the road from us put their mailbox too close to the road. And then they didn't do a good job installing it, so the mailbox leans forward kind of into the road. And we live on a road that's barely wide enough for two cars to meet without somebody getting in the grass. I mean, you can do it, but if you meet where that mailbox is, you're going to hit the mailbox. And we did. It hit the mirror on our car, shattered it, the side mirror. So we had to get a new one of those too. Like I said, it's been a little bit crazy. But, right? You do what you got to do. Okay, we'll, as you know, we'll delve more into all those things as we go along, but we should probably go right on into the stitching. I worked on my Dimensions mason jar lineup. Here we are overall. See, look, I'm leaning my head back because it's a habit. Here we are. This time I have completely finished all the back stitching on this one. And doesn't, look at that jar with the back stitching complete on it. That's just fantastic. And after I did the back stitching there, I'm working on, this is 2 jars together right here. These are the last 2 on this side. So like I said, maybe I could get this half done before the end of the year. This is what we're working on right here. Maybe this side, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. Oh, and that's on my list of 20. And Dawn, I'm in my head working on a shirt. So I worked on Be Thankful by Imaginating Ink. Here we are overall. And this time I did the back stitching on this gourd and then a few more letters. I think I had the B. I don't think I had started that part yet. But it's been so long, I really can't tell you. I had every intention of recording a video last week. Well, not that I haven't had intentions before that, but on Saturday morning, Abigail's boyfriend contacted Addison and told Addison that he had broken up with Abigail. I got a hold of Abigail. Of course, she was falling apart, basically, and so I called my parents and sent them to go pick her up. She had left the apartment. She was in, like, sitting in the parking lot at Starbucks in her car, but I didn't want her driving, being all upset. And so I called my parents because they live in Houston, and they went and got her, and she's at their house still. I think part of her wants to be home just to be with us, but she's just started a semester of school, and so she really wants to finish out the semester, and she's safe with people who love her, and, you know, so she's okay right now. So Saturday, Dax and I went. I had to wait for Wyatt to get to the office to get some stuff that had come to the house for him. And then Dax and I came home and packed, and we went to Houston. And because she had texted me and asked if we could please come. And Addison and Jacob happened to be in Houston last weekend, helping a friend celebrate her birthday. And so it it was good they were there because we went on Sunday to get Abigail's stuff moved out of the apartment, and it took all three vehicles, all three SUVs, to get all of her stuff loaded up and moved. And I will tell you, on the back here, we got her packed and moved in 3 hours. I told Addison to let him know on Sunday that we were on our way over to get her packed up, and to strongly suggest that he was not there when her father got there. I mean, who kisses someone goodnight and tells them they love them on Friday night and then breaks up with them on Saturday morning as soon as they wake up? I don't get it. And don't even get me started on how I feel about him at the moment. And it probably won't change anytime soon. I can hold a grudge. Anyway, she's going to be okay. It sucks to have to go through this. But like I said, she's got a place where she's safe and she's loved, and her family all rallied around her and are there for her, and she knows that without a doubt now, so it's good. That part's good. I worked on this dream catcher. And here it is. We're calling this a finish because, as you can see, I don't know what I was thinking, and I don't know why I started so far down, but there is no room, because the selvage is here, to get these leaves in. To get these feathers in. So I'm going to have to figure out a way to, I'm probably going to frame it in a hoop. Maybe one a little bit bigger so I can at least get some of this in. And then do something, I think I might use some leather and put, maybe some pony beads and actual feathers hanging down from it, or I don't know, something else, maybe feather charms with ribbon or something. I don't know, but the stitching is done on that, and not a moment too soon because I did not enjoy it. I don't know how anything that simple could be so complicated for me. Sorry, I'm dropping stuff too. So we're going to call that one done. It is just like that. Starting it completely wrong. Just stupid mistakes abound with that one. And so I'm glad to be done. I worked on this Lizzie Kate Fall Y'all. I believe that this was gifted to me from Kimberly, the Distracted Stitcher. And this time I worked on it, I put in the blue hat band and then this color on the hat down here. There will be more on the brim out here. And of course there's a little patchwork right there. But that's what I got done this time, was the blue and the other little part of the hat. I also worked on the June issue of Snowflower Diaries. I guess it's not going to focus so that you can see it. So this time I filled in some more on the bear and I put in the tree right there. Abigail's all of that going on with her only added to the stress around here. Kirsten's dog, she has a almost 15-year-old pit bull, and I think he's had a small stroke. He's still eating and drinking. Sometimes he looks like what's going on, but most of the time he does not. But he's having trouble walking on his back legs. So there's the stress of, I think the time is drawing near. He's not in a place yet where we're ready to make any decisions because, like I said, he's still eating and drinking. He's still is happy. He's, except for if she's not around, he wants her around. He still wants to get on the couch to sleep. He just can't anymore. But I don't think she's preparing herself for the end of his life. And I feel like it's drawing nearer more rapidly. So we worry about that. And it's, you know, with the battery and then the mirror and the dog and the breakup. And I got that tingle along my spine, up along my shoulder blade. And it even went down my arm to my elbow, where it's like, hey, Taryn, do you want shingles? If you've had them, you know what that feeling is, that tingle before it starts. Thankfully, my doctor is wonderful, and I have a prescription for when I feel it, when I know it's coming, because when I had them before and got the full breakout, it was massive. It was everywhere. It wasn't a small spot. It was here, on my back, up my neck, down my arm. So, I have been taking medicine. So far, it has worked to keep them at bay. Sorry, I paused so I wouldn't cough all over you. Anyway, I think we've avoided a shingles breakout, but I do need for something. I mean, Friday was a deadline at the office, and we have another one October 15th. So I need for something to de-stress just a tiny bit. I'm not asking for much here. Out of this cross stitch and country crafts, which is March, April of 91, I'm doing the animals that are on the front, but I'm doing them like this, in this, stacked on top of each other. Like I was coughing, now my eyes are watering. This is also on my list of 20. I feel like is anything else? I was gonna say, I feel like I'm not keeping up. Anyway, you can tell that my magazine's falling apart. But I have finished the cow. I've done a little bit of back stitching on her. I almost said I've started the back stitching. I've done a little bit. I figured I will do it kind of like with the mason jars. Each time I pick it up, I'll back stitch a little bit and then stitch. She has flowers, like a bunch of flowers that hang out of her mouth. I hated these flowers, the wreath around her neck, so much. I have not decided if I'm going to do those flowers or not. I mean, I don't think she looks bad now. And everybody else has flowers on them too. But you can see I've started the goat's legs. Like I said, this on my list of 20. It won't get done this year. I'm certain of that. We don't have nearly enough time. I mean, if this was February, maybe, but it's not. I worked on, this is Count Your Blessings from Stony Creek. I had started this one before on just a little piece of, it was from a 1, 2, 3 stitch grab bag with little 6x6 squares of different fabrics. And I had started it here, but when I was counting out to do this crow, I realized that I don't have enough room. Well, I could fit it on, but like this. So I restarted it on a piece of 18 count because I figured if there was, you know, barely enough room on the 14, on the 18 there should be room. So as you can see, because that's about as wide as it's going to be, I don't know if it might stick out a couple of more inches down here, a couple of more stitches. It's not going to be inches on that part or not, but at least I made it farther than I was before. My needle's TV, because that's me, TV. Out of the April 2018 Just Cross Stitch magazine, I'm doing this right here. I call it Spring Hair. I don't know if that's actually the name of it or not. Here you go. This time I worked on the ears. There's a mistake somewhere in this ear. I don't know what it is. I just kept stitching stuff until I got things filled in and went with it. Some of it I had to make up, but I wasn't going to pull it all out because I would have to pull it out and start all over on that ear, and I wasn't going to do it. I just wasn't going to do it. I worked on this Kindness Little Sheep Virtue from Little House Needleworks. I have more than one of them on this piece of fabric, but here we are. I finished it. It came with, when I ordered the pattern, the person I bought them from on eBay, I bought several of them from the same person, included the buttons. And this one came with 2. There was a bigger crow that set up here, but I just put that one on because I like that one. I liked him sitting on the pumpkins. This needle minder is from Colvin, because how cute is that? She gave me another one. I'll show you. I have to get it. Got a gratuitous boob shot. You're welcome. I leave this one on. I have buttons that are sorted by color in little baby food jars, and I leave this one sitting on one of the lids to those jars because that, yes, so often, yes, she is my spirit animal. She's doing everything I want to do. I don't know if I got it back on there good. Anyway, I got another finish. That's the important thing here. I worked on, this is America from Little House Needleworks. This also was a gift from Kimberly. And she did say that she has been distracted because she hasn't made a video in a while, I don't think. But she did say she also hasn't been watching them because she still has 2 young boys and Does she have both boys? I think so. And life is busy, as we all know how it gets when you have kids who want to do things. Anyway, I filled in more of the letters. I got the white on the house finished, except for there's a little spot right there, I think. Yes. Oh, well, here, it's got to go around the window. I'm still missing some around the window. And then I started another window up here. I guess this might be easier if you couldn't see through it. Anyway, and I did more leaves. It's getting there. And I like it, so that's what matters, right? Then out of Cross Stitcher magazine, these were done by Doreen Jones, and this is the one I was working on. It was a mania start for me, and I finished it, and then I started and finished another one. So these will be ornaments for my mom and for Dax's mom, because my mom has 2 black cats and Dax's mom has a bunch of cats. I can never remember if she has more or I have more. But what are we up to now? Is that 4 finishes? I think so. I don't even know who I am this year. That it's kind of unlike me to accomplish anything like that. When we had to leave, I wanted to take something that was easy. So I grabbed this one because it was already started. It's one I started a while back when I just wanted to start a kit. I don't have that many kits, and I have never had that many kits. I see a lot of people talk about when they started cross-stitching, like in the 80s or 90s, that all they knew about were kits. And I started cross-stitching 79, 80, probably somewhere around in there. And even back then, I used patterns and kitted them up myself and all of that. I just don't have that many kits. I never have. Anyway, all of that was a really long way to say this was a kit. It's a stamped kit, so it was easy to just grab and take. And not that it matters, because you can't tell what I worked on. Not really. I worked on the tail. Now, I was sitting in my mom's house working on this, and I had held it up to make it more comfortable. I don't know. My mom goes, "What are you stitching?" And so I showed her the cap, and she's like, "Oh." And she just was being weird about it, and I'm like, "Why?" And she's like, "Because when this is all you can see," because all she could see was the back of my piece, she was curious what I was stitching. If you wonder about me, now you know I come from a long line of it. So there you go. My mom thinks I'm porn stitching. I don't know. Oh, mercy. Addison has been coming over to watch Big Brother with Dax. That's their thing. They both watch Big Brother. I don't. Nobody else does. Jacob used to come over, but now he's kind of like, no, I'll stay home. The only reason he was coming over before was to eat here. So anyway, she wanted, she's craving different things. So usually when she's coming over, I ask her what she wants to eat, if she has a preference. In the other one of the nights she was coming over, I was opening a can of biscuits. Y'all, I have never had this happen before. It exploded. I mean, you know how they always make a loud noise. I mean, it exploded. The one end hit me in the stomach. It was like getting punched in the gut. It shot, I wasn't even standing at the stove. I was standing at the cabinet a foot or two away from the stove. It shot a biscuit all the way to the back of the stove. It hit the back of the stove. It was nuts. Now I'm afraid of them. I'm just going to put that out there. I had a round red mark on my stomach for probably 3 or 4 hours. It was just crazy. Out of the Keepsake Cross Stitch Calendar from 2017, I'm doing this one, Paisley Pumpkins. And on this, all of that white is filled in, which I shan't be doing. I'm not doing that. I've got some time, but I won't be doing that because I want my fabric to show through when I get that stitched. I am filling in the orange one, but the other one will be more open like that. So I got a fair bit done because I finished this one and then came up and started working on these. So I did get quite a bit done for my time allotted. So y'all just beware the biscuit, okay? Beware the biscuit. Out of July, August, 1986, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. Looks like this. You may notice I'm doing a lot of things out of these magazines because I have a subscription. And I see a lot of people who change their minds about things and they don't like them anymore. And I'm just not really like that. I've liked these since they came out. It just took me a long time to do them. I'm doing this one. I worked on this one. I'm doing all 3 of them. And this is where I've gotten to on it. I filled in right in all of the basket and came down and filled in some of that. The quilts are fun. The cats are a lot of work. They have a lot of colors, but they're going to look fantastic when they're done. I am working on this Mirabilia. It's Santa's Magic, I think is the name of it. It's on my list of 20. I feel like I haven't been saying that near enough. I must not be stitching what I'm supposed to be. Anyway, here's where I am. It is hard to tell, but this time I worked a lot in here. I've added to this, but I put in a whole bunch of Krynic right in here. I'm thinking about also adding the beads as I go. Just because there are places where I'm stitching 2 over 2 and I don't do a lot of that, and so I'm terrified of getting off. If I save the Krynic and the beads until last, I'm iffy on the beads. I'm going to go, obviously, I'm going to go ahead and stitch the Krynic because I've done that. I bought scroll rods. I don't know how I feel about them yet. I worked on it a couple of times with the scroll rods. I was trying to do it two-handed, which makes it go much, much slower for me. Way slower. So, I don't know. I haven't made any final decisions yet. Obviously, I took it off the scroll rods to show you because I don't know if I want to keep it on there. And I just put it on there really fast, so it was crooked anyway. But anyway, I don't know. Out of this Christmas 1991, it was Leisure Arts Celebrations Cross Stitch. I'm doing the White Santa. I'm doing the whole thing, which looks like this. It's on my list of 20. But I'm still in the top half. But I did start doing, I did fill in those flowers in that wreath. See, this apparently I have a lot of issues with. I have it with the cow. I have it with him. There's like one, maybe 1.5, 1.25. We're not even going to get into halves. Stitch in a color, and then, you go forever until there's another one. The same with, there are bells hanging from it. And there's like a bell that goes right here. There's like 4 shades of gold in those things. So it makes it really slow. So I stitched on it, but you really can't tell how much. But I did do some of the back stitching through here and around his lips and the top of his head and everything. It will be beautiful. I know it will. I'm going to love it on this fabric. Eventually we'll get there. I worked on my Paula Vaughn friendship quilt. I am off on this one, and so the work on it is right now stressful, to say the least. So I have filled in some more on the quilt, and basically I am having to, down here at the bottom, fill in an extra row of the colors. It's got one stitch too many, and I don't know where the row I'm off is. So I'm just trying to close the gaps as best I can. Like, all of this has an extra stitch down at the bottom, but I'm trying to make it look not bad. And I did work some more on, these are just the shadow here and stuff. They're just half stitches. But I'm doing these in 1 strand. These are in 2. It's all going to meet up because these are going to come over under here and meet up over here. So I'm going to have to pull those out. I changed it to, the pattern may even call for 2 strands, but I changed it. I'm doing the 1 because it's on an 18 count with 2 strands. It's really a little bit hard to tell what's a half stitch, what's a full stitch. So, yeah, I'm going to have to pull that out. Which, this on my list of 20, I'll be thrilled if I can get this half done before the end of the year. But I don't know, because, man, it's a Paula Vaughn. There is some back stitching. There is some back stitching. So, anyway, it will be beautiful. If I can just get my way through that and get that out of the way, I'll be thrilled. It won't really affect any of the rest of the piece. So that would be wonderful. But we'll see. Out of March, April 1986, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. That's what the cover looks like. This is another one of the cats. Cats, quilts, baskets, or something like that. Cats, baskets, and quilts. I didn't have to show it to you like that because there's... Once again, my magazine is falling apart. And at some point, I actually made this one out of there. I have no idea when. I just remember doing it. I'm sure I gave it to somebody, and who? But here we are. This one I am farther along than the other two combined, actually, which is funny because I spin a wheel to decide what I'm going to work on, and it likes this one much better. So this time I filled in a little bit more up here in the quilt, and then I filled in quite a bit more on the cat. I have some places where I have like, there's one ninja stitch, there's a couple of other places where I'm missing little ninja stitches because it's like one stitch that I missed at some point in that color, so eventually I'll just go back and fill them in. I just haven't done it yet. Oh, I'll tell you, it just popped into my head, more things about Dax messing up his schedule, changing his routine, and messing up the whole world. We were at Sam's one day. We walk outside. There are cops everywhere. Apparently, some guy and some man and some looked pretty young kid-ish that worked at Sam's got into a tussle. I don't know. There were cops everywhere. Ambulance showed up. Nuts, right? Walk out of Sam's where it's all nice and quiet inside, and you're like, whoa, what's going on? It was nutso. Out of July, August 1992, Cross Stitch and Country Crafts. It looks like this. This is another one that is on my list of 20. I don't have to show you because, again, my magazine is falling apart. I'm working on this one. I can't decide if I have hopes this will be done before the end of the year or not, because I've made a lot of progress on this one. At the beginning of the year, I had the top part of this basket and part of this apple, and then like right here, that's all I had at the beginning of the year. So I've really made good progress. Like I said, I'm on the fence because like this little tablecloth, that's solid stitching. So I don't know. But I'm close. I'm close. Much closer than at the beginning of the year. But I need help. Do you see how this is shaded? These are all half stitches to add in the shading. And I mean, I picked this pattern because I liked it, obviously. But I'm really kind of liking how it looks. You know, obviously it needs a lot of back stitching, but the crispness of it that I think that shading kind of takes away. So y'all tell me what you think, shading or no? Do I shade it or not? Because I just don't know. Oh, did I say anything? I'm sorry. I have to say things when they pop into my head. In case you're new here and don't know. Did I say anything about Wyatt's dog? Wyatt and his girlfriend got a puppy. And apparently he chewed up part of the lining out of his basket of toys. And so he had been kind of feeling bad all week, so they were concerned that what he had chewed up was stuck and everything. So Friday they took him to the vet. They did surgery. Saturday morning they went to pick him up, and $5,500 later they didn't find anything. You know, they're like, yeah, we don't know why. Maybe it was something he ate, but it wasn't this, you know, and granted, Wyatt is not happy about the money spent. But he feels even worse that the dog has had to go through this now for no reason. I said, well, it's that you're in a no-win situation, because if there was something there, and Wyatt said he could, on the x-rays, he could understand why they would think that there was something there. But I said, if you don't do anything and you come home to a dead dog, you'll hate yourself forever, And then the other is that you go ahead and do it and find out that you didn't need to. So you have to do what you can sleep with, really, is, I guess, what it boils down to. But he's a little bit sick over that. Again, it's got to be Dax's fault, because he changed his routine. Okay, I worked on, these are, I don't know if I have, these are off of Etsy. Green Terrace is what it says on the pattern. Anyway, they're gnomes. I have cowboy gnomes. I have Indian gnomes. So, these gnomes account for, I think, three of my new starts since the last time I've seen you. Because I started this one. I had started 2 of the cowboys and 1 of the Indians, I think, before. This one, and then this morning I started this one. This was today's new start. So, I'm showing you those because you are not going to be able to tell by my new starts. So, here is Cowboy Gnome number 3. Yep. That is the crown of his hat. And I think it's just, I just put in one color of what was on there. Indian Gnome number 2 was from last week, when everything I told you was going on. So there you go. There's my new start. I started it so that I can say I started it. And then this morning, I spent, I don't know, 15 or 20 minutes and started the 3rd Indian one. So there you go. They are all on one piece of fabric. I'll cut them all apart later. It's easier to, I think, to work on a big piece of fabric than it is a bunch of little ones. I mean, it's easier to get it all into in your hoop and all of that good stuff. From Tilton Crafts, I worked on this one, Celtic Welcome. This is from Dawn at Frosty X Stitch, because when I work on my Solitude, it drives her crazy, and she felt like I needed more color in my life. So she sent me this one, and it is beautiful. I will give her that. This is where I am. I started in the middle at the top. In this time, when I started it, I only had a couple of the colors, and I've since purchased the rest of the colors for it. But this time I did a lot of the filling in here. But isn't it, look at those colors. That's just, it's going to be beautiful. This is why Dawn felt like I needed the Celtic Welcome, because this one, Mystic Stitches Solitude, on my list of 20. It will not get finished this year, but I'm hoping I can get this page finished this year. But here we are. I think I've made some pretty good progress. This, I think right here, is about the middle of the pattern across. So I think coming down right there is about the middle of the pattern across. I tried to do the whole page. I tried to, I don't want the marks, where you can see the squares. And I've had to change that to, I don't care. I've got to work in the 10 by 10 square. I tried gridding it myself over here, and I still just made a big fat stupid mess. And I have been able, even though it takes longer, because I'm only working on just like right here, even if a color from this 10 by 10 square repeats down here, unless the square next to it is done, I'm not putting it down there, because that's why they're in squares, kind of in a diagonal. I'm not doing diagonal stitching. I'm still doing the 10 by 10 squares because that's what works for me. But at the beginning of the year, I had part of this down here finished. So this year I've managed to get this done, which is a partial page. And then I'm hoping to be able to get all this done, which will be a full page. It really should be doable. Last Sunday I thought I was going to get a lot of work done on it, but obviously I did not. We didn't have anything planned. But you do what's most important, and this was not it. But I am getting to, like, in these squares down here, there's a lot of black, where it might only have 2 different colors, where they're just spots that aren't black. So I should be able to knock some of that stuff out pretty quickly, right? I should. Okay, I have to look. I think that is all the stitching I've done. Hooray. And finally, you got to see some stuff that wasn't all the same stuff. I feel like that my little roulette wheel just picks the same things over and over again. But finally, we got some variety. I have other stuff. Dawn had asked me about needle minders, so I have made a few. Here's some. This one is a little ceramic button. Kirsten got me a couple of them at a thrift shop. This is actually fabric that it has had. It feels like it's been glued to batting, right? That they applied batting to it. But then they took all of that and either Mod Podged it, because even the batting is all stiff, like, but I know I've talked before about online auctions that I like to buy from. This was in a Ziploc bag that had like 25 pins in it, and I bought the whole bag because I wanted this. And I had to pay up because somebody else wanted those pins too. But I did. But I have sold enough pins to pay for that bag, so it's all good. That's how I work. I buy what I want, but I try to make sure I buy enough to pay for it. Except for cross-stitch patterns. And then this one was one that was like from a necklace. I don't know if that's coming through good. It's pumpkins. I'm going to put it on. I was concerned when I was breaking off the little loop part. I was like, okay, I'm going to have to sand that down and blah, blah, blah. I hope I don't make a big mess and tear it up trying to break that part off. It snapped off like nobody's business. It was so easy. So that one's going on one of the Thanksgiving ones that I started not too long ago. I have also, I bought this off of Etsy. It's Zendaji. It's Zindagi. DAGI Designs. This is what Addison picked out for like the birth sampler or whatever. His name's not going to be William, so I think it's going to be kind of weird for me to stitch this like that. I mean, none of those are going to be the baby's name, but you know, whatever. And he's not going to be born on September 25th either. He's a February baby. But that's what she wants, so I'll stitch it like that. Just kidding. Just kidding. Oh, I have to tell you this other stupid thing that happened. I already told you that I was taking the medicine so that the shingles don't break out. And the other morning, I took the pill for the shingles, and at the same time, I took a supplement. And I didn't think anything about it. And then when we were on the way to work, Dax was like, "What are you doing? Are you okay?" Because I kept like touching my face because my nose, all right here, and my lips and my ears started tingling and getting that, I could feel them getting fat, you know, like swelling. It never got enough that you could tell, but I could feel it. The only thing I can think is that it was taking those two things together, because I haven't done it. It was the only thing different I did that day than every other day. I haven't done it since, and it hasn't happened again. So I don't know, but that's just stupid. It's stupid. Okay, I got this off of eBay. It's from Front Porch Quilts. It's called Blitzen. It's felt applique. But I mean, seriously, how cute is that? It's a kit. It's got all of the fabric and everything in there. They're called skinnies because they're not very big. But it's freaking adorable. I ordered some more floss from Dying to Cross Stitch for my other color on Jacob's stocking. I haven't tried either one of these yet because I ordered another one that's supposed to be here tomorrow. I ordered it. I'm not going to be able to remember the name of the shop. I could try to tell you, but I'd just be lying. So, I told you I'm going to just build the fancy floss stash like this. This one is Clemson, and this one is Empress. I'm not going to be able to get a good color, am I? Maybe. This one's kind of a teal color. It keeps adjusting to help me out, and it's not helping. And then this one has like some purplish, some kind of like blue to light blue, a little bit of purplish. So, I don't know. That's kind of pretty good on both of them. I mean, this one's a bigger hank, like 25 yards, I think, on this one. And these are 10, so I got 3 of them. This has become a whole lot of trouble. It's become a whole lot of trouble. So I got those. I won't try to get those back in the bag right now. And then I got some more diamond paintings. It's a little kit. These are all actually stickers. I wanted them to put like on my summer tree because, I mean, for real. The cat is in a donut. Come on. But I'm going to have to figure out something to put them on because they're stickers. And I'm sorry. I know that was crinkly and frustrating. I thought I bought something else too. I guess not. I guess I did not buy something else too. Anyway, well, I guess I did. I bought more floss. Like I said, it's supposed to be here tomorrow. Yeah. I think that's it. I think that's it. I'm looking forward to a little less crazy. The stress is just worrying about Abigail, worrying about Kirsten's dog, and everything has been a lot for all of us. Kirsten came in, well, I'm sorry, she didn't come in. When we got home the other day, Kirsten, she'd been to the grocery store and she'd been craving grapes, so she bought some grapes. And her dog has been keeping her up at night a lot. Just because, like, he needs out more often. He needs help to get up. So he wakes her up when he needs to get up and stuff. So she hasn't been sleeping very much. And the sleep she gets has been interrupted a lot by the dog. And it's not his fault. He's getting old and needs more care. I mean, that's really just what it boils down to. And so she's sleep deprived. And the other day she was going to pull the grapes off the stems, and just put the grapes in the bowl and throw the stems away before she left the kitchen. And she was standing at the trash can, pulling the grapes off and dropping them in the trash. She said, luckily she'd only done it to a few before she realized what she was doing. But that's how we're working around here right now. It's just too much. Okay. For August, because I had my finishes, yes, and everything, I ended August with my Stitch from Stash, $67.58 in the hole. I think I'm making an executive decision in that I'm going to track mine on an ongoing instead of starting over every year. But I guess it's really not true. I'm going to do both because last year I was way ahead and this year I'm way behind, but not as behind as I was ahead last year. So if I combine the two, I'll be ahead. I'll be in the black. But I still want to see how my years go. So I think that I'll kind of just track the year as a whole to see year to year, track yearly and keep with my original $75. We're going to start with the $75 where I was way over, and we're going to ignore any times before that month that I might have been in the hole, which would be all the years before that I did that. But I do want to track where I'm at for each month anyway, so I'm going to do both because why not? Why not do more tracking? I mean, I don't tend to keep up with what kind of fabric I'm using. I don't tend to keep up with what kind of threads that I've used. They're mostly DMC, but maybe they weren't. I don't track any of that stuff. But this is important. So at the end of August, I had 143 whips, 18 finishes year to date. 8 of those were from my 20, which puts me ahead of last year, I think. I think last year was the most I've had, and that was 7. So now I think I'm ahead. Last year I only had 18 finishes for the whole year. So that makes me feel good because I think I've already gotten 2 finishes this month. I think one of those cats hanging from the lights was this month, and maybe something else. Oh, the Little Sheep Kindness was from this month. Yeah, and then last year I only had 7 finishes from my list of 20. So I feel like I'm doing better this year. I guess I'm having a better year. Stitchy wise, you know, not everything's fantastic, but that's how it all goes, right? Okay, I think that's it. I think I've rambled long enough for you. You know of, a lot of the stupid that's been going on in my world. Yeah, I think that's all. Thank you for coming back. If you have returned, welcome. If you're new, I appreciate it. Thank you for your comments, your likes. I appreciate all of you more than you know. Please pray, have good thoughts, that it will not be 5 weeks before I do this again. I'd much rather do it sooner than later, because later means something's going on. And I don't want that. Unless it's, like something fantastic. And since we have a deadline in 4 weeks, I doubt that it will be fantastic. I can tell you this, which is insane because we don't do this kind of stuff. On the 26th, Dax and I are going with another couple of friends of ours that we are going to the Guns N' Roses concert in San Antonio. Yes, on a school night. We are going out on a school night to a concert. It's crazy. I should have had Abigail give me one of her Guns N' Roses t-shirt while we were in Houston because I need it. But anyway, we'll see how that goes. Hopefully we'll have fun. When she asked if we wanted to go, I said yes, because I feel like sometimes we need to get out of our rut. But look what happened when Dax got out of his rut and did things different. So this could have been a really, really bad call on my part. But even if it was, and things still stay chaotic, and, I'm giving you permission to blame Dax changing his routine, this won't be my fault. It will still revert to Dax changing his routine. Anyway, this brings up another stupid thing. I was thinking about making some cookies right now. That's what brought it up. I had made some hamburger buns a few weeks ago, and I didn't have enough flour. Well, I forgot that I had other flour, and there wasn't enough flour in the flour canister. And so I had used whole wheat to make up the difference. And I wasn't thinking at the time. I probably should have added a little more liquid in for the whole wheat. So the buns didn't puff up as much as they should have. They still tasted fine. They just weren't as fluffy as I would have preferred for them to be. Well, when Dax had been working, when he got home, the buns were sitting there cooling on a rack. And I had broken one apart to taste it to see if they were okay or if I just wanted to throw them away. But the buns were sitting on a rack cooling. Kirsten was burning a candle, a cookie scented candle in her bedroom. And when he got home, he saw those. Granted, they're wheat, so they have like a tan color. You could smell that candle. He thought I'd made these big snickerdoodle cookies. And so he grabbed the piece of the one that was broken and popped it in his mouth. And then he came to me. I walked in about that time, and he's like, "These aren't cookies." I'm like, "No, they're buns. They're hamburger buns." And he's like, "Why does it smell like cookies?" I'm like, "I don't know." They're not snickerdoodles. So I need to go make him some cookies. I did make him some chocolate chip cookies. So, but I still have cookie dough, so I'll make him some more cookies. So yeah, you'd think he'd learn. It's not the first time that he's popped something into his mouth that, where one time he thought I was making frosting that was in a little bowl sitting on the counter, and what I had been making was deodorant. So he ate a mouthful of deodorant, but it's all edible ingredients. It's all good, but it probably didn't taste very good. Anyway, there you go. That, like I said, pops into my head because I was thinking about I can go get these cookies made. Anyway, thank y'all again. I'm done. I promise I'm done now. Y'all have a great week or two. Hopefully that's all of the stitching. And we will see you here next time. Thanks, y'all. Bye.